scene.
Hello and welcome. Just for you this time, Falcon. Just welcoming you this time.
Okay,
Yeah.
seems fair.
Seems fair?
I,
Alright.
I think I'm the only person deserving a welcome to the podcast, so I appreciate that.
Oh, really? I didn't realize you were jealous every time I would welcome others and you felt they weren't deserving of that. Oh, my apologies.
I don't know
if
that
it's
it's
not a way.
jealousy, but feeling like they're not deserving of it, I think that's accurate.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Bold words.
Well, you know, it's not like anybody's recording this, right?
No, of course not. It's just you and me here.
No, obviously. Obviously, just me and you.
Clearly.
All right, so to start things off, if you've been eagerly awaiting our Wonder Egg recap, it was a clip show this week, which I'm kind of upset about, but
I haven't
just hate
watched
clip
it
shows
because
in
it's
general.
a clip show.
Yeah, it's like immediately obvious when the episode starts. It's like, hang on a second, all this is from stuff that we've seen before.
Okay.
Meh.
Oh,
Anyway,
well.
I mean, it's an in-depth show. There's a lot of confusing stuff about it. I think there's confusing stuff they haven't explained yet. So like this didn't help with that, obviously. But just I think maybe I don't know. Maybe for some people they were like, oh yeah, this is happening, or oh that's right, that character did say that. So I guess there were a couple things that we'd had discussions on the topic of I can never say his name, the counselor, Mr. What's up, Kai?
I don't know his name.
Sawaki. We'll say it's Sawaki.
Sure.
Sawaki. Yeah.
Okay.
So the way it's portrayed is he's trying to help I develop some confidence, or he's some creepy predator. It's one of the two. Because he's like,
nowhere in between.
I don't think there is. I'm going to paint you the way that I see you, as like with a lot of possibility and a good person and all this stuff. And he's like, when I show it to you, I want you to have confidence in yourself. So this is kind of a go-to move for pedophiles. Like, you definitely want to make your target feel like they are dependent on you in some way, and that you see them in a special way nobody else does, right?
It's also it's also something a school counselor might do.
Yes, a therapist, right? A licensed professional can do this and not be a pedophile.
Right, entirely reasonable thing for a teacher in a school to say and do to a student, right?
Exactly. That's exactly the point, right?
Right.
Because anybody else does this, and like an unlicensed therapist or like somebody who doesn't have this position of trust does this, and you're like, pedo, done, out. We're gonna burn you alive, right?
Right.
So he does it, and there's just this little tinge of like, I don't know. So he's doing that with her, and then her friend is like, all right, he's going to submit this painting to a contest, and he wants to earn some money and start a career as an artist. So she says, you better not screw this up for him. So I think what happens is I goes, I'm going to screw this up for him. I'm not a good enough subject for his art. I have no confidence in myself. So she backs out. She bails. And her best friend takes the spot. Her best friend is the one being painted later. And she says that the reason, so best friend is getting bullied, right? And I is like, is that because you're friends with me? And she goes, no, it's because they think that Mr. Sawaki is paying me special attention. Okay. Yeah. So there's a couple ways this can go, right? One, there is an inappropriate relationship that's going on. He's preying on her and screws her up and she commits suicide. Or two, there's nothing going on, but the talk becomes so intense and the bullying becomes so intense based on an entirely innocent relationship, and people are just mean that's why her friend kills herself. I don't know that there are no other options unless they haven't shown us specific things that are going on in best friend's life.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's all plausible, I think.
Yeah, it's always been, because they're showing it to us out of chronological order and they're not showing us the whole thing. And there's that whole scene when I kind of walks in on her best friend and Mr. Sawaki. She's like crying and she's hugging, like they're hugging, right?
Right.
So, again, I imagine there are instances where you're a school counselor and one of your students is super distraught and there's a hug. Like, I would
Right.
not recommend doing this. If you're a school counselor listening, don't hug your students. But I can totally understand a situation where this might come up and it would be totally innocent, right?
Right.
Okay. So
Stick
that's
with the
all.
head pat. Stick with the head pat.
I don't, man, I don't think I would even touch them in any way at all personally, but whatever. I'm not a school counselor.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was the one thing. That was a nice backtrack about that whole thing, and I was like, okay, I think I have a better handle on this than I did last week. So that's the one thing that was nice. They just went over each of the girls. So this is she has heterochromia. Her mom is. I was just like, oh my gosh, I know all this stuff.
No
Here's
jacket.
Miru. This is all her stuff. I was like, yes, we know all this. This is Rika. This is Mono. And I'm like, there was nothing else interesting from any of the other ones.
Right.
And I was telling this over the Discord. I'll just recap a little bit. It's being narrated by the mannequins.
Okay.
And at the end of it, they're talking to the viewer the whole time. They're addressing the viewer. And at the end, they're like, what? You don't trust us? Even after we sat down and explained all this to you? It's like, no, I really don't. It's a good point. Way to be self-aware, mannequins.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was it. That was the episode, the end. And I was like, bummer.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Is there anything else in there? No. I mean, it just solidified my theory that, is it Momo or Mono?
Momo.
It is Momo. Yeah, Momo. Momoe. Yeah. Basically, like, girls keep falling in love with her because she's like moderately masculine, right? And then she says specifically, my best friend saw me as a girl. And that was good for her, right? She's like, thank goodness this person's not going to think I'm a dude and fall in love with me. But then best friend totally is like hits on her, like drops her clothes and is like, let's have sex. And she's like, what the crap is going on? Pushes her away and is like, okay, yeah, that's a decent reason for suicide, I think, for a teenager for sure.
Oof.
Yeah, rough.
There's a quote that's going
rough.
to get taken out of context for you when you run for president.
Yeah, again, it's such a good thing nobody's recording these.
I know,
And
right?
that's really saving my bacon today. Yeah. Anyway, that was Wonder Egg. Bad times.
Fair enough.
Yes, that said, it's good. Alchemy said this is it's an original story written by somebody who it's his first time writing an anime.
Okay.
Yeah, Shinji Nojima, which I'm super impressed. Like, I think for a first time, original content story that you're telling, this is pretty darn good for a first effort.
Yeah, it's good. I mean,
think.
yeah, I doubt it's like the first draft, right?
Right. No, absolutely. And Alchemy did say that he has written some live action TV before, so definitely not his first storytelling effort either, but just first attempt at anime, in a more fantastical world. I don't imagine he was doing live action fantasy for Japanese TV. Maybe he was. Is that a thing? They have live action fantasy on Japanese TV?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. Do they even have live action TV in Japan? Other than game shows?
Yes.
Okay.
All
right.
Yeah, obviously.
Japanese TV live action fantasy.
I mean,
Live action science fiction TV shows from IMDb.
would you look at that?
There are some. Oh, check this action. It's an isekai in live action.
Oh, really?
A brain surgeon faints at the hospital and awakens to find himself transported back in time to the Edo period.
Send me a link.
From 2009. It's called Jin.
Jin.
This is going to be your introduction to live action Japanese TV.
I mean,
Here's a time travel one.
it's the premise is a little flimsy. A brain surgeon faints. What are they fainting for? It's like
They saw blood.
yeah, they faint. Brain surgeon faints at the sight of blood.
It was his first one.
Oh my god, it got 2 seasons.
There are so many time travel ones. Holy crap! After
Yeah.
finding his mom killed, Satoru's time traveling ability. Next one. This student travels back in time to the Sekunju era. Next one. 16-year-old high school student can run really fast and goes back in time. What the crap, you guys? Why is everything you do time travel?
Japan loves time travel.
I guess. There's a bunch of Ultraman stuff. I guess that counts as live action.
Sure. I mean, they did live
Power
action
Rangers.
Attack on Titan,
Oh, that's a good point.
which I watched part of the first movie. I kind of like skipped through it, and it's oof, it's something. It's not good, but it's something.
Why are live action adaptations so hard to do? There is a chef. When he wakes up, he is in the Sengoku era of Japan in the 16th century when the shogun ruled. Japan, I feel like this is a cry for help at this point.
Surely there are
And
some.
like the real world is garbage. We must retreat to fantasy and better times.
Uh, yeah, no,
Yes,
yeah.
kind of. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else has been going on? Attack on Titan was good. I'll give it a thumbs up for Sunday's episode, which you didn't
Okay.
watch.
Nope, sure didn't.
Spoiler alert, Eren becomes leader of a fascist organization. Believes that Eren is the chosen one who will lead the Eldian Empire to conquer everybody else. So that's exciting. Eren's all sorts of screwed up. Yeah. It's kind of sad too because Mikasa and Arwen are like, oh yeah, Armin, thank you. Are like, no, Eren wouldn't do that. We've known him since he was a kid. But no, he is.
Did they
So they're
explain
very,
what he was doing, like hanging out in like the Mali army?
yeah. No, he was infiltrating them to like commit a war crime.
Oh, okay.
Did we not talk about this?
No.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he's hanging out, pretending to be a Marleyan soldier back from the war, right? Missing a foot.
Right.
He's pretending. And yeah, he just basically so what he does is he by himself goes to Marley, sends letters back home saying, "Hey guys,
How
I'm
does
gonna do some war stuff with Marley. You better come back me up." And they're like, "Are you kidding me? Are
how
you
do
kidding me, Aaron?"
how does he send letters?
He befriends an Eldian warrior candidate who is
Okay.
being trained to become a Titan.
Okay.
And he's like, "Hey, mind sending these letters back home for me?" So he like uses this kid. Oh, it's so sad. He
Right,
just
right,
totally
right,
betrays
right.
him.
But how do the letters get to the island? Right, like there's no postal service out there.
Yeah, I don't know. He must have set something up.
Okay.
Right. So post these letters to somewhere in the Marleyan Empire. He's got a friend who has connections to send it back to Paradise. I don't know, man. That's a good point.
Well, the problem is, it's like he's a soldier in the army. He has equal access to the postal service, assumedly.
I don't.
Or is that something they only give to the warrior candidates?
Yeah, I think that might have been what it was.
Uh,
Whatever it was, he was either worried about them reading his mail
Well, no.
or he didn't have access to the regular posts. Yeah.
The problem is we know that the Malians actively spy on the current warriors. You would think they would
Yeah.
also actively spy on the candidates.
Right.
So
Well,
using a candidate would be more likely to get your letters screened.
maybe. The candidates are pretty brainwashed. Like,
Sure.
the way they portray these kids, they've just been raised to know nothing but Eldians are demons and you are an Eldian and you better help us stop them or you're worse than they are, right?
Right, but why would that not also apply to the previous generation of Eldians? Like the ones that are currently warriors. Surely they would have equally have been brainwashed because they've been doing this for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So, but they're still spying on them.
I don't know that they are.
They are. There was a scene where Zeke and some of the other Titans were like in a room discussing, I don't know, having breakfast or something. And Zeke's like, no, not in this room. And it shows a shot of there's a room under the floor where two dudes are like listening in and recording their conversation. Right?
Fantastic. So yeah, nope, fair enough. Good point. Plot hole, probably.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
have
Cool.
an answer for you.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, Aaron, there's this big. I thought we talked about this. There's this big gathering of the military. The Tiber family is there. They are somehow Eldians that lead, that are in charge of Marley. It's all very confusing. But basically, everybody's gathered. Aaron goes Titan and just like murders everyone. The Marleyan Titans, a couple of them are there. He fights those. He kills a couple. He takes their powers.
Oh, so now
Uh,
he's rocking more than one Titan? More than two
yeah.
Titans. He's had two Titans for a while.
Yes. Yep. He's doing
So,
all right.
so can he at will transform into different Titans, or is always just the attack Titan?
I've only seen him do the attack Titan.
Okay.
So I don't know. Good question.
Have we
So
seen Arwen or Armin turn into the Colossal Titan yet?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So Armin, like it's kind of a sad thing. Like, so the Marleyan fleet is out there in this cove. There's a ton of ships out there just hanging out. And like a smaller boat in the fog kind of like bumps into one of the larger ones, and like the dude looks down and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing down there?" And it's just Armin on a boat by himself, and like all the viewers are like, "Holy crap!" And yeah, he just activates and just nukes everything. The bay like explodes. Everybody dies. And he's just like sadly war crime walking his way through the city. It's the saddest colossal titan maneuver of all time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically they just like slaughter a city.
Pretty much. Yeah. So once they're done with that, there's a Zeppelin that the Paradis military.
Yeah, and then
Hangi.
Gabby. Yep. Okay. So I'm fairly confident I know what happens without having seen the show from this point.
Okay.
Reasonably, more or less.
Yeah. I mean, that was the best episode of the season by far. Aaron just going ham on everybody and other Titans showing up. Titans fighting Titans is always a pretty good time. And Aaron was smart. Did we talk about this?
No.
He like Batmaned it.
Okay.
There's this Warhammer Titan who has the ability to basically create, like, you know how Aaron can harden parts of his body?
Yeah.
The Warhammer Titan can use that. It looks like the same kind of stuff to create weapons.
Oh,
it's like,
okay.
Yeah, like hardens into a hammer, hardens into a sword, a spear, stuff like that. And so Aaron goes for the neck, right? Goes for the nape and like crushes it, but it doesn't stop the Warhammer Titan. And so he has to actually Batman it. Like he actually has to sit there and think about, okay, what is going on here? Why didn't that work? And he figures it out and he's able to defeat it. So it was just nice. I'm just so used to Aaron just blind raging his way through every situation he's in. But the fact that he actually took some time to analyze the situation and figure it out was extremely good.
It's more impressive that he's finally at a point where when he's in a fight, he can take the time to think about a thing rather than having to either blind rage or just get pummeled.
Yeah, for sure.
I
mean, part of it was circumstance. He had some room to breathe, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Thunder Spears, Mikasa, the whole thing. Yeah.
And Zeke fakes his own death, which is kind of awesome.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. He's there, and then I think so Mikasa and Levi are both there. And I think Levi takes him down. Like Levi takes the Beast Titan down.
Okay.
And it felt easy. I was like, what the crap? Like the Beast Titan is smarter than this. This should not have been. I know it's Levi, but come on. It took like 4 seconds. And then it turns out that he totally faked it. He let Levi kill the Beast Titan, and then he escaped. Like leaving behind his limbs, basically, because he can regrow those, right?
All right.
And then later the Marleyans are like, so bad news. Remember how we thought Zeke is dead? Yeah, we only found his limbs. Like he's still alive somewhere. He escaped. It's like, ooh.
We just found his legs.
Right? Yeah. We were looking for a torso in his head, couldn't find it. So he gone.
He's out of here.
Yeah. So that was pretty good.
Fair enough.
So it's still not sure like what Zeke's entire plan is. What does he want? I don't know. It's not clear. He's never come out and been like, here's my plan. But we'll see. It's good.
Yep. All right.
It's yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just it's a weird feeling to be watching something that feels like it's going to be an all-time classic, like from start to finish. I don't know. Like maybe people felt that way when they were watching Full Metal Alchemist. Although then the original ending was bad, so maybe not.
Right. I mean, did you have this similar feeling while you were watching Game of Thrones?
Sure did until the end.
Okay, so it shouldn't be
So that
that
could
weird.
happen here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a good point.
yeah, I think it's going to be difficult to wrap it up in a narratively satisfying way. It always is.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not super interested in it, but I'll watch it
Hmm.
because I'm 3 seasons deep, and if this is the only last one, it's like, why not?
Yeah, I mean, might as well finish it up. Well,
Yeah,
plus the manga's done, so story's
right.
done, and people enjoy how the manga wrapped up. So I don't know how they can screw this up. I guess.
I don't know, but I mean, I would love to see them try and finish the live action movies because do you know the very very important part where Mikasa's a Japanese woman?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously it's a live action Japanese show, so everyone's Japanese. You can't really do
Yes.
that plot line. Uh,
Oh.
you remember the really, really important part where the Colossal Titan can only kick through the doors or the gates on the walls because they're the weakest points where there aren't any Titans hiding on the inside?
Uh huh.
Yeah, no, he just kicks through a random hole.
Oh.
Right. So you can't do anything with Titans in the walls, and Titans in the walls are pretty important to a lot of stuff.
It is. It's something of a driving plot point for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was at like
Yeah. I
that
don't know.
point. It was at that point. I'm like, I'm out. uh, good times.
Oh, amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I watched a show called Tower of God this weekend.
Yeah, I've
Have
heard
you?
things about that.
Yeah. It's good. It's like
Okay.
I don't know how to sell it to you without telling you what it's about. The world does not feel very explained with like why there are all these different races and why some people appear to have just been living in a cave by themselves but have hand tailored clothes that like fit them perfectly. It's very strange, and I don't think it cares about any of that, and I don't think it needs to either. Like it's like, yeah, kid wears a suit, it's fine. uh, I recommend if you've got time to watch 13 episodes. um Yeah, that's like I. Oh, okay. I should probably give you a basic rundown. There's a thing called like it's basically like what's like the Tower of Babylon kind of deal where it's like massive tower, and if you climb it, you can become a god or something.
Yeah, I get to have a Tower of Babel. Uh huh.
Yeah, that's it. Tower of Babel. It's basically that, except I'm not sure what the tower is, if they're on it or if they're in it yet, because they're all going through like tests to see if they're worthy to climb the tower. But every now and then, floors will get mentioned, and I'm like, that sounds like a tower, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and it also kind of turns into a high school show for like a couple episodes where it's like all these people who were in like this big battle royale, 400 people, need to call that down to 200, and they're all killing each other, are now taking classes to how to perform in a group for team exercises. And it's like, how did you do that? Like, how did you turn all these crazy killers into high school kids? Um,
It's a good question.
but good show. I recommend.
Okay. Is it on? Let's see where it
It's
is.
on. It's on Crunchyroll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where is my Crunchyroll tab? Is it gone? Oh no.
Did you delete your Crunchyroll tab?
I mean, I just have like 20 tabs open at any given time. Actually, that seems low. Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, this is like
I don't know how you live like that.
30. I have a lot of RAM. It's fine.
I feel sick if I have more than 8 tabs open.
Oh yeah, 8's nothing.
Yeah. Rookie numbers. Could have bumped up those numbers, but can't do it.
Tower of God 1 season complete.
Yeah, first season's complete. I have a
Oh
feeling that
no!
what?
Wait.
What do you mean? Oh no.
So on the right side it says, "I'm sorry, due to licensing limitations, videos are unavailable in your region." Tower of God in parentheses Russian.
Yeah, the Russian
What?
the Russian subtitles will not be available to you.
What?
Yeah,
What? Okay, Crunchyroll. Good call. I don't know why you had to tell me that. I've never watched anything in Russian on your
I I
platform.
I was looking at another show and it was like, yeah, the Spanish isn't going to be available to you. I'm like, oh no, the
Oh,
Spanish. What will I do without them?
yeah. Incredible. I mean, whatever. More information better than none, I guess. Maybe. Whatevs. What else is going on? WandaVision. Had a pretty good episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just one rant. The fact that an Avenger can take an entire town hostage,
Mm-hmm.
disappear off the grid for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and none of the other Avengers are like, so we should go check in. Bothers me. Like, I understand they don't have the money to bring in another Avenger, but man alive, it would be nice for someone just to wander by and be like, hey, what's going on? And then be like, yeah, I'm Hawkeye. I can't handle this at all. Good luck. And then just leave.
Right.
That's all I want.
Well, okay, well, just pretend that happened and
Uh
then continue as normal.
huh. Okay, I'll do
Because
that. Thank
you're
you.
basically asking why didn't they put a cameo in, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's the problem with all the standalone films. It is. It's like Iron Man is dealing with a fairly big threat. Where are the other Avengers? Busy with other bigger threats, I guess.
Yeah, I mean he was only protecting like the vice president or something in that movie, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
not a
not a
big
big deal.
threat, not a big deal.
Right.
It's not an Avengers level threat.
That's entirely true. If Iron Man dies, so what? We can replace him with more Avengers.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty
yeah.
much. Anyway, it's fine. It's not like groundbreaking stuff, but it's pretty good.
I mean, also I would argue in Iron Man 3 the Avengers weren't solidified as a team. They didn't have their own building yet, sort of a thing. Right? They weren't like this task force that the world can depend on. At that point it was still like setting things up and then some stuff happened to Iron Man, right? Like
Sure. Well, okay. So when is so Avengers 1?
yeah.
Is Iron Man 3 after Avengers?
Yes, because he's having PTSD about going into through a wormhole.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And
Iron
like
Man 3, the Avengers exists.
no, like they exist as a team or as a concept, but they're not like a unified force that's handling issues globally yet. Like they've come together, they've done that one big fight, and then it's like, well, Hawkeye's a guy with a bow. Captain America's searching for houses in Brooklyn. Loki is like in prison, and Thor's like taking him there. Who do you have left? Banner.
I mean, having Hulk around is pretty darn useful, turns out.
Yeah, but like Hulk in like Thor 3, yes. Hulk in like Avengers is just a guy who hits things.
Yeah, having a guy who can hit things would have solved a lot of Tony Stark's problems in Iron Man 3. That's all I'm saying.
It also could have potentially made a lot more problems, right?
Yeah,
Like
could have.
he was down to like one pair of prototype armor that was like falling apart when a truck hit it. Could you imagine if Banner decided to hit it? Like it would have just been screwed.
Probably. I would have watched it anyway.
Yeah, people might remember the movie more fondly, but
Oh, so true. Anywho,
yeah.
what were we talking? Oh, just WandaVision. Okay, done. No more WandaVision talk.
Okay. Did you see that Reina won a world championship? Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
It bothers me. There's all these tweets that are like, "He's your Katowice champion." No, that's not what this was. This was not winning a premier championship. We know the truth.
So there are tweets that are saying you're a world champ. There's some that are saying you're an
Yeah.
IEM champ, and there's some that
Yeah.
are saying you're a Katowice champ.
Yeah.
There are some tweets that are wrong that says he's the first foreigner to win an IEM. That's true. Cries in Thermal.
Right. For you, Thermal.
Yeah, nobody remembers you, buddy. Sorry.
No.
It's not incorrect to say he's a Katowice champ, or he's the first foreigner Katowice champ.
It's not, but it'd be like, for my NBA fans out there, it's like if the Jazz won a national championship by beating the Lakers, and all the tweets were like, "Congratulations on beating the Lakers." It's like, yes, that's technically true.
No,
It's not really the point, though.
The analogy here is bad because Lakers. It's not like the BlizzCon
They're not.
Lakers, right? Like
Yes, and
it's
not
not
like
the
they're saying
Lakers
congratulations
tournament.
congrats on beating Zest, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Congrats on beating Maru. Well done, Bruno. That's what
yeah.
we're here to congratulate you for. Congrats on beating Maru.
Well, and yes, and the problem here is that we're using an existing tournament to be the de facto world championship for 2020
Yes.
in February. These are problems.
It's weird because they even called him the 2021 world champion on the broadcast. So if he's the 2021 world champion, who's the 2020 world champion? Is it just Dark for like?
He got 2?
Yeah.
Maybe. I could see that.
And I mean, it's also, they still using the IEM trophy instead of the BlizzCon trophy. So Reno
It's
doesn't.
not BlizzCon because it's not BlizzCon.
No, it's true, but like you think that would mix up the trophy a little bit, right?
Yes, totally.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, again, the 2012 World Championship was called the Battle.net Championship. So, like, the history of this thing's a little muddled.
right. That's true. Yeah.
So, remember, okay, so real quick, we were talking about parting, and his World Championship doesn't count.
It's sort of not concurrent form, yeah.
Yeah, and just the formatting was all different.
Yeah.
So, they did a like Korea championship.
Mm-hmm.
So like the groups were region based.
Okay.
And then the not the group. There was like a previous stage. So they had a 2012 Battle.net Asian Championship, a European Championship, a North American Championship, right? And then the winners of those went into the groups, and then the groups became the playoff. So it was like a 3-stage thing. So he still had to beat the other Koreans who were playing StarCraft 2 at the time. He still had to beat out Hero, Rain. Who are these people? Curious.
Who are these people? Way to sell your point that these are big top tier names. Who are these people? Also, I would like to say, parting. Let's see. He vote Roro. Don't know who that is. Curious. Sure. Max said, dude's still playing up to like a couple of years ago, but he's Chinese, not Korean.
True.
Not
there
particularly
were a lot. Look at all these Chinese players.
Yeah, because this is the Asian qualifiers, not the Korean qualifiers.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, so then they had. There's another stage, the 2012 WCS South Korean Nationals, which was just Koreans.
Okay.
And had included, oh my gosh, so many. There's a losers bracket. So that's where MC was. That's where Lenok was. That's where we said Hero already. Ooh, Effort played. That's interesting. Gumio played. Polt was there. MVP was there. Jadong was there. Alive. Okay, so that was it. So he basically had to go through an entire tournament of nothing but Korean players and come out on top in that, along with Creator. To then go to the Asian Championship, where the 2 Koreans came out on top, and then go to the groups where they both came out, and then the finals where they both came out, and then Parting beat him, which is honestly kind of hilarious. And that's probably why the next year they're like, all right, look, basically the Korean Championship was the championship the whole time. And the remaining 4 rounds were just, window dressing, basically. Yeah. So then in 2013, the entire bracket is nothing but Koreans and Naniwa.
Mm-hmm.
Who got 3-1 by Sulky.
Yes. Okay, you're really selling it.
Yeah. No, come on. Parting had to win a bracket of entirely Korean players, just like the winner in 2013 had to do. It counts. 2012 is legit.
No. No. Because beating the qualifier gets him to the tournament. Like, he qualified for the tournament by beating other Koreans, right?
Yeah.
How's
in
that?
a playoff.
And
Basically, that was the world championship. The
No,
world
th- no, no,
championship
no,
for
no.
2012 was the Korean playoff with like 16 players.
The Korean playoff definitely decided who won. But
Yeah.
the tournament in which it was decided by playing the games, Parting basically had no competition.
Yeah, because
Right?
they had this like championship parade stage of the tournament where they said, "We'd like you to play some show matches against players that are not nearly as good as you are for a little while. Would you mind doing that?" And he said, "Sure."
No, because if it was like all those players had an equal chance of winning the tournament, right? Like,
Yeah.
if they had beaten him, they would have won. It wouldn't have been like, oh, well, that was a fun show match. Here's your championship, Parting. No, it would have been, here's your championship, Max said, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So the tournament results are what determined it, and the tournament was filled with bad players.
At one stage of it, but there was a stage that was elite, and I think that's what matters. Just because it came first
No.
instead of last doesn't mean it's not legitimate.
It does, because if you take out all of the good players first, the rest of it doesn't mean anything. You need to have the good.
You still had to get through a Korean-only bracket.
No, because
He did.
yes, he did, but that doesn't matter, right? You need to have the best players at the end, otherwise it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so you're just arguing chronology. That's all you're arguing.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'm going to agree to disagree with you.
No, you're going to agree to agree with me.
I think beating out every Korean that was playing StarCraft 2 at the time and coming out on top makes him a legitimate world champion in 2012.
I never said he wasn't a legitimate world champion. I said calling him a world champion means he can do it again almost a decade later means nothing. It's not his current form. That's where I took issue. I didn't say he wasn't a world champion.
Oh, I thought that's what you were saying.
No. I'm saying he was a world champion because he got an easy tournament. Sure. But it doesn't...
I'm not saying you're saying it's invalid. I'm taking exception with you calling it easy. I don't think it's easy at all.
Okay. When it comes down to it, the difference between... Okay, which year was this? 2011, 2012?
2012.
Let me look this up.
It's amazing how many stages he had to play. He had to do... There were probably pre-qualifiers to the Korean qualifier. Like, it was a long, stupid road for this. And it was over when he won the Korean bracket because he and Creator won everything after that.
The difference between him taking home $100,000 and $5,500 is versing said.
Yeah, I know. It's set up poorly. I'm not disagreeing
exactly.
with
It
you.
is set up poorly, which is why it's stupid. Right? Like,
the tournament is stupid. Blizzard recognized how stupid it was, and in 2013 they fixed it. Okay.
Yeah, and if they fixed it, that means they recognized it wasn't a legitimate win, right? Or at least.
See, now we're back to saying it's not legitimate. You
No.
told me I never said that.
Okay.
Now you just said it.
Okay, that time I said it, but I think my point stands. If you have to beat unknown players, and your chance of winning a prize pool goes from $5,500 to $100,000. Then the tournament has been set up poorly, and it makes it an illegitimate, not illegitimate. He is the world champion because there was a shitty tournament, so you have a shitty winner, right? You know what I mean? Like, am I explaining that properly?
Yes. Again, and the fact that you were like, Parting cannot win another championship. He made it. He was one of the 4 best players in the world last week.
I'm sorry, did he win? Was I wrong when I said he couldn't win?
Yes. I think if you are among the top 4 players in the world at the World Championship, you could win. Absolutely. You think he had 0% chance of winning from there?
I never said 0. I never said 0.
You said no chance.
No, I didn't. That's... That's libel,
Man, it's a
Falcon.
good thing we're not recording this. We'd both be in trouble today.
That's libel, and you know it.
Look, all I'm saying is Parting was good enough to... Where is his series against? Who did he play here? He 3-1 to TY. I did it again. And 3-1 to Innovation.
Okay, sure.
And in the group stages, what did he do?
He went 4-1.
Yeah, he 2-1 Rogue, which, come on, that's not bad.
No,
2-1
oh, yeah, you
Cure,
did.
Ragnarok, 2-1. Okay, so Neeb, whatever.
You got 2-0 by stats. In the group stages, Parting got 2-0 by stats. Easily the weakest Protoss in the group. Even in the playoffs.
Sorry, I missed that. One of my tabs started talking to me. Say again?
He got 2-0 by stats.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whatever. My point is,
Look,
Parting's win in 2012 was very legitimate, and he made top 4 in 2021. That's pretty impressive.
Okay, I'll make you a bet right now. He will not win another world championship ever.
Well, I mean, now he's going military. That just destroys your chances of winning a championship, it seems like.
Is he going to the military?
I thought this was his goodbye.
I don't remember hearing
he had a stream like in the last couple days where he was like saying goodbye to all his viewers and stuff.
Really?
Mm-hmm. According to Wikipedia,
He says he's got pending military service.
Yeah.
There's a post on the TL forums called Parting the Draft Dodger from 2015.
Nice.
So I guess he's been delaying it a lot.
I know, but they all do that now, don't they?
Yeah. It's fair.
It's just standard behavior at this point. Anyway. Okay, so enough parting. Way to go, Rainer. Mm-hmm. Great foreigner hope that you are.
Mm-hmm.
He's so stupid good. He's so good. I still think his defining, for me, the defining characteristic for him is you can destroy his economy and it doesn't seem to hurt him somehow. Not even Cyril has this magical capability of being like, you killed 30 of his drones and you know what? He's fine. It doesn't seem to hurt him at all. I don't get it. Is it just injects? His injects are just always on point all the time. He knows exactly when to make drones, when it's safe to do so. And all of that just coalesces into never being able to destroy his economy. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, his series with Maru was insane. I mean, that might have been the best series of the whole tournament. I think it was a 3-2 best of 5. And all the games were close. It felt like Rainer, was ahead in the first 2 games, ended up losing them. Maru is so hard to kill. So his comeback ability is maybe better than anybody else's. And then, just finishing him off is incredibly, incredibly difficult. Maru's a beast.
Yeah. A Ligalac still puts Cyril above Rainer.
That's interesting, really.
I don't like it says the above list is a preview of the ratings list, which will be finalized March 10th. So it might still be waiting to update for some reason. Don't know why.
Right. It's been a couple days. You think they'd have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah. And what I liked about the Rainer versus Zest finals is that Rainer was basically like, I have no interest in playing against late game Protoss. I'm going to bring my queens across the map. I'm going to bring Roaches, Ravagers, Zerglings, Banelings. We're going to try to kill you now. Every time. I don't think there was a single game where he was like, what's that? You have 3 bases up real fast and you're getting a 4th? All right, I'll just try to match you macro for macro. No. He had no desire to do that. So he's it works. I mean, that we've seen that. Just how do you beat a particular strategy from a certain race that's really hard to beat? Don't let him get there. And I know I've always hated that, but Rainer basically took that and made it work.
It's true.
Yeah. So he's a boss. He's not the youngest champion. I
No.
looked into that. Parting actually was 17 when he won in 2012. So I'm not sure if anybody else is also younger than Raynor, but Parting at least was younger for sure.
Mm.
So yeah,
Fair
this
enough.
kid. Do you remember when we tried to get him on the podcast? Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, like back when we had guests. Uh,
What are you on about? We still have guests. We had Duddles like 6 months ago.
yeah, that's true. My bad. Yeah, but I think it was me or was it you? No, I
It
think it
would have
was
been you
me.
because I don't remember
Yeah,
it.
I was able to get in contact with him,
Okay.
but then his dad was like, his English isn't good enough. I don't want him doing an English only interview. And I was like, oh, that's fair. Because he was
Well,
just a kid. He hadn't done anything yet.
yeah,
He
he
was just
might
this like
slip up
young
and say
upstart.
"fuck lurkers." Fuck that Jimmy.
Now, back then, he was just a baby. I mean, not that he's like 30 now, but yeah, back then he was just making all this noise as an incredibly scary up and coming young player. I don't think anybody was like, yeah, in 2021, he's going to be winning a world championship. I don't think anybody had money on that.
Mm.
Do you think so? Do you think people saw that in his future?
Uh, I don't know. People have been saying that about Clem, that he's like the best up and coming Terran. Because
I think he is.
oh yeah, he is. But they've been saying that for
Yeah.
a while, and I mean he's getting close. So I wonder if people probably were saying that years ago about Reno.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it's
think
one
he
thing to be your best up and coming player. It's another thing to be like, they're going to win a world championship, right?
right. I think he like people probably talked about Reno positively, but was just massively overshadowed by talk about Cyril. Because
Right.
2-3 years ago, Cyril was on like a 1 year winning streak where no one could take anything more than a map off him. All right.
Right. He was
He,
a monster.
he went more than 365 days without dropping a series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The year of Cyril for sure. And then he gets 3-2'd by Clem
Mm-hmm.
in the round of 12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Clem's a beast. And this is, again, the theory here is, you're Clem, you're Raynor, you come up and you're just constantly having to deal with beating Cyril all the time.
Mm.
So that's why Raynor's ZVZ is so good, especially against Cyril.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to have improved to where it's even good against the Korean Zergs, because that's what killed him last year against Dark, was he looked completely lost against Dark.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then it seems like he was able to figure it out because he 3-2 Dark. He didn't crush him, but he beat him, and that's huge compared to how lost he looked in 2020 or 2019.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but you're just playing against Cyril, right? So Clem's TVZ is monstrous. But who are the Protoss he's playing against, right? It's Showtime. And on the European ladder, I'm not sure what other Protoss are really going to provide good practice for him for something like this,
Apparently, Neeb plays on the EU Showtime. Well, I kind of proves your point. Never mind.
Yeah, it kind of does. It's like his most accomplished Protoss opponents are Neeb and Showtime.
It's true.
That's all. So he needs to figure out a way to get better against elite Protoss play, elite Korean Protoss play, because if he doesn't, it's going to be hard for him to win a championship.
He should just move to
But
Korea
again,
for a season of GSL.
yeah, but apparently you don't have to, because Raynor figured it out. Like, Raynor's in the same boat. He's playing against European Protosses as well, and he's able to 4-2 Zest and 3-2 stats.
Reno's been hitting like round of 12s in Premier Tournaments much more often. That feature.
That's
Koreans,
true. So that's his practice?
Yeah, he just has more experience there.
He does. It's, I don't know. Can you just do it by, I don't know. I was going to say do it by just analyzing your replays, but like, that's not the same thing as doing it, It's one thing to just analyze and watch every Cyril replay he's ever played. It's another thing to suit up against him and be like, all right, let's do this,
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, it's an amazing run. I mean, Raynor, if you want to talk about legitimate championships, to beat Stats, Dark, Maru, and Zest is a pretty good gauntlet to run through to prove yourself the best.
For sure.
Yeah. So good job by him. Yeah, I mean, there are kind of two ways this can go. Sometimes young champions are just happy with what they have and they'll keep competing, but they're not going to compete with the same amount of intensity and hunger that they had previously. So maybe, maybe we don't see another championship.
Maybe.
And maybe this is his obsession, and maybe he's going to keep doing this every day until he can't anymore. And maybe this is the first of many. I don't know.
It's an excellent question.
Yeah. I mean, it's even if he does remain as committed to this as he has been, winning another championship is hard.
Yeah.
Even if you've won one, like how much do we have repeat champs for World Championship in StarCraft 2?
No.
There's never been a repeat.
No.
Not even like back to back, just period.
SOS.
Does he have two?
I feel like he has two.
Okay, hold on. Let's do this real quick. So 2019 is Dark. And 2018 was
Rogue.
Stats.
Stats has never won a world championship. What do you want about? What are you talking about, Willis?
Sorry. Cyril beat Stats. My bad. Cyril's year was 2018. I knew that.
Yeah. Then before
2017, Rogue.
And then 2016 is Beyond.
Okay.
2015 is SOS.
Okay.
Who was 2014? MC?
Okay.
No, I'm guessing. I'm asking, not telling.
Oh, you weren't looking it up. You're just remembering.
The first five I know off by heart, but I wasn't there for these ones. So it was either like Life or MC or something.
So 14 was Life. Oh, Life. His win has been vacated due to match fixing. So technically it's MMA's title, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Okay. MMA.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have
2013 SOS. So yeah, SOS has won it twice.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I mean, who was SOS playing against in 2013? Really? What was the tournament set up like?
It was all Koreans and Naniwa. Remember, we talked about this.
What's the bet? Did he have to beat Naniwa? Because that would have given him a bye.
No, he beat... Where is his first round? Hero.
Okay.
And then he beat Polt. And then he beat Bomber. And then he beat Jaedong. That's pretty good. No?
I mean, yes and no. Like, sure. He beat a lot of people that aren't here anymore.
That's because it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Hilarious. All right. You need to appreciate the old school players better, I think.
Look, I know these names. They just...
Okay.
It's like, okay, you beat people who couldn't play for very long, right? Like, these are people...
Polt.
Yeah. What's Polt doing now? Jaedong went back to Brood War. He doesn't count.
True.
These
Bomber? You don't respect Bomber?
No, I like Bomber.
Okay.
Bomber's like the one guy that I'm like, okay, yeah. He was here in Legacy of the Void.
Yeah, the Protoss player Hero? You don't like Hero?
Yeah, I like Hero. Well, I liked Hero. What's Hero done recently?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Where's
he's on active military duty, so that's what he's done recently.
Yeah. He's a goddamn hero.
Yeah. He won GSL Season 1 in 2017.
That was like 4 years ago, Falcon.
Yeah, I know. And then he's got a couple second and third places in GSLs in 2017 and 2018. He took third place in IEM Katowice in 2019.
Hero's not on active military service. It's fulfilled.
No? You're looking at the right one?
I'm looking at Hero.
There's a couple heroes. Is your guy Protoss?
Yeah.
Does he have $344,000 in career earnings?
No.
Okay, this is the guy I'm looking at.
Okay, well, were there two heroes in WCS 2013?
Good question. Which hero was that?
No, there was only one hero, so they've linked the wrong...
What hero was it?
It was the Protoss hero.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go
There's two!
Right, yes, but there was only one in the tournament. Go to the list of players in the tournament and click on his profile. Then you know it's that one. You've been reading from the wrong guy.
How do you know?
Because I clicked on the guy who's in the tournament. Unless they've linked
Oh,
the wrong guy.
yeah, maybe not. Okay, so this guy only has $265,000 career earnings.
Yes.
Okay,
Let's see. What
so
was the
let's
last
see.
thing he
He
competed
basically
in?
didn't do anything after 2014.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did stuff up to 2016, but he
Hmm.
certainly hasn't won anything. He was third in a 2014 WEC. What the hell was that?
Yeah,
World Esports Championship.
he
Okay.
won an IEM in 2014,
Uh-huh.
WCS Season 1 in 2013, North America NASL in 2012, a DreamHack in 2012.
Hmm.
He's got a bunch of Premier Tournament first place finishes. Like, this is not a bad player.
No, well, not at the time.
No, he's just washed up now because he's old.
It's true.
Yeah.
Kidding, hero. You're great. Um,
Okay.
why?
So,
See? What the is this? He has EPT points. He's ranked 55 on the EPT Korean ladder.
is he
Says
still playing? No.
he's ranked 55 with 10 points. How did he get
Holy
those 10
crap, you're
points?
right.
He
He,
got them
he
in weeklies. He played in an ESL Open.
he's still competing. Hero.
Huh.
Not retired. I was wrong.
Well.
Functionally.
Yeah.
One, two, three, four. He's got 7 first place finishes in Premier tournaments. That's pretty sick.
I mean, it's all right.
How many do you think Polt has? Mr. Polt is my favorite player.
I didn't say Polt was my favorite player.
Bomber. How many does this Bomber have?
I never. When did I claim Bomber was my favorite player?
No, you respect beating Bomber. You didn't respect beating Hero. Bomber has 1, 2, 3, 4. He only has 6 first place finishes in Premier tournaments. He's not as good as Hero is.
Yet he
You put
went.
some respect on Hero's name.
Yet Bomber went further in the 2013 tournament.
Because he didn't he didn't run into SOS until then.
Yep.
All right, that's enough. That is enough. I will not have you disrespecting the old players' names.
Look, I'm not disrespecting them. I'm just saying that not Legacy of the Void players, like the history in not Legacy of the Void is not reflective of their skill in Legacy of the Void. The game's vastly different. These are people who
Yes.
are winning games when you started with 6 workers.
So you're the kind of person who's like Michael Jordan, who's that? He played 20 years ago. I don't respect that. It was a different game back then.
Well, one of the major change balance updates to basketball is the fact that the balls around new, right? Are they finally
No.
allowed to wear shoes?
There have been
Did
a
they
ton of
raise
rule. There have been a ton of rule changes. It's a much different game.
like
Players
what?
today, teams are shooting like 63s a game. Back then, it was like 10. There
What?
are different rules for defense. They used to allow the defenders to like hand check and like actually push you in the chest on defense. They got rid of that. There are a ton of different rules. It's a much different game for sure.
Well, I mean, it's basketball, so I still wouldn't care regardless.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm just saying you don't respect the players, the legendary players of the past because they played in a different time and players
Well,
weren't as good back then compared to the players today.
when you say I don't respect, it's like saying, well, I think Michael Jordan could go out and win a championship versus the Lakers 1v the rest of the team, right? Like, I don't think you can just do that. Like, I think people who are like, nah, my player is better because he did some shit 12 years ago, right? Like, there's a line of respect, and then there's just not knowing what the fuck you're talking about, right? Just saying shit like, oh, you need to respect these old players because they could all come back and win it today. It's like, no, not all of them could. Right? Like, I have a respect for what they did at the time, but just inserting that into what's happening today is an entirely different set of circumstances.
I know, but you could only play against the competition of the time. If you win a world championship at anything, at any point in history, I'm going to call it a world championship. And I'm going to find it comparable to a world championship in 2021.
No,
I just am.
I don't think that's fair.
Okay. We will differ on opinion in that then. That's fine. I get what you're saying. I get where you're coming from.
It's like saying, okay, this guy was the fastest person in the Stone Age, right? Like
Yeah.
they set the land speed record when the fastest land speed vehicle was a horse. Now we have
Yeah.
rocket cars. Still counts though, right?
Yeah. At the time, he set a world record. He was the fastest person on Earth.
But
And that's
I mean, that's hardly fair. He wasn't the one doing the work. He was just riding a horse.
Look, yes,